Thank you.
Okay.
That was a whole 20 seconds.
Awesome.
Awesome sauce.
I have something random. So,
Okay, hold on.
uh-oh.
Ready?
Ready, set, go.
Ready, set, go. Hey, y'all. This is Garza.
I'm Casey.
We're about to kick this show off. You want to go first? What do you got? What you got? What was
Mm,
that random thing?
SSI. Say you have a sibling that died. No kids. Where does all that money he made go?
Honestly, I don't know.
It's pretty
Because,
much unclaimed money that should have gone to him or his.
well, okay, so when my brother got murdered, I worked with SSI to get um my niece his her SSI check,
But that was her dad.
but that was her dad.
Right.
I do know that. I knew they have widow's pension. I do know that they have child's pension or whatever. I don't know what they call it. Um, it was a long process,
Mhm.
but if it's a single person that has no contributed child, I guess
Mhm.
I don't know, and it sucks because where does that money go?
Right.
I mean, I would think that in my eyes, it would. Well, was he married?
She's dead too,
Well,
though.
she passed away also.
Hmm.
Um, well, from there, you would think it would go to the mother or father. But then you have a battle. What if they're divorced?
Well,
You
one
know,
of those are dead too, so.
okay. So you would think it would go to the mother or father, but it probably doesn't. It probably just sits in a pool somewhere. That's something we're gonna have to look up and see
Yeah.
where we can what we
That's
can see with it. But
just unclaimed money that someone is dipping into. And there's probably a lot of people that are like that.
that's where that 150-year-old person gets paid from.
Yeah. Well,
You
yeah.
know,
I
I
mean, that's
yeah, it's
probably where
kind
it
of it's
comes from.
it's kind of crazy thinking about it.
I do want to look into it, though.
You
Absolutely.
should.
Because that's money someone earns and they should get back. And shit, fucking SSI coming out
But
of your check all years and years.
honestly, I'll probably say nobody's ever going to get that money.
Yeah, probably not. No. That's
Nobody's ever going to see that money because it has to be a spouse or it has to be a child under the age of 17, 18.
all of those technicalities.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It was fortunate enough that I was able to get my mom's widow's pension, stuff like that. I mean, but yeah, honestly, where does that money go? Who does it help? Or who's pocketing it,
The rich,
you know?
of course.
Because we've already seen it come out with, you know, DOGE where they're exposing all this stuff and people are still denying it.
Hmm.
100%.
Yep.
The facts are there. I mean, even Elon's gone on, several podcasts. One of them I just watched was Ted Cruz's podcast, The Verdict,
Mm.
where he sat down and he was like, we sit here and we publish everything we find, and people still say that we're wrong. And they're in the postal system right now.
Hmm.
How funny is that?
Very deep. Yes.
How funny is that?
Right now, what did they say? They're just gonna do forced, or not forced, but the early
Early
retirement.
retirement is what they're going for right now,
Hmm.
cutting costs and stuff like that. But honestly, in the postal system, they're gonna have to start from the top. I mean, because how would you not start from the top and eliminate one person that, in that theory, if you were to start at the bottom, how many people will you have to eliminate to make up for that one job?
Right. Right.
Because if you look it up, there's some crazy heads of, I don't even know what to call them, you know, this, almost like CEOs or something, chief officer of this or chief officer of that. I saw some ridiculous stuff in there, like chief officer of building maintenance,
Oh,
and then like,
oh,
y- you know, 90% of the postal offices aren't owned by the post office. You can quote me on that number. I just threw that number out, but I know it's a huge amount that I thought the post office owned those buildings, owned that land because they call it federal,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and it's.
Technically,
T-
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if you're leasing it, how can you call it that?
I used to shoot talking about Elon Musk. I used to feel that way about Tesla. If you're leasing it, then it's not your property.
No.
Yes, that's how I feel. Yeah, I am not opposed. But I was looking through. It's the our homepage, the My Work page, right?
Hmm.
And you're talking about the heads of director of janitorial services. Yeah, I
Six
saw
figures,
that.
right?
Oh man, I saw a whole bunch of like weird little brackets of who's a director of what. It was like customer service for calls or something like
Yeah.
that, right? And I'm like, calls, shit. Half of almost every post office don't answer the phone. So what are you directing? Oh,
I
that's messed up. I can't even say that for
I mean,
real.
it would.
It's
No, it's
true though.
true, though. It is true.
They don't
I
answer
mean, how many officers answer their phones?
us. That's about it.
I mean,
Us,
I've called several offices to get insight on a package or something, or to get help from their office, and it's
nothing.
you're you have a better luck on sending them an email.
Mm, sometimes.
I mean, I've
Some.
gotten farther with emails than what I can calling phone numbers, and that's another thing. I think, with us being in the postal system, or the postal system alone should have just phone numbers for the post office.
Like
You know
directs.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's another post office calling.
Yeah.
A
Oh,
dedicated line for the post office, sort of say.
I mean, when I first started, Ethan's phone says U.S. Post Office when he called me before I.
It's cell phone.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what
And I
our
mean,
office
okay,
phone
yeah,
says.
a lot of the managers and a lot of the postmasters do have cell phones,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just I'm just a worker. I'm
I'm
not
just a
looking
worker bee.
I'm not looking for the postmaster. I'm looking for another clerk to answer a question for me about a package or a missing item or something.
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
not that I disrespect to the postmaster or managers, I just don't need to talk to them. You know,
True.
that's not my job, is to call the postman and be like, hey, I'm looking for this package.
Call him and say, "Hey, get somebody to answer their fucking phone."
Answer
Yeah,
your fucking work phone.
yeah.
Answer your office phone, I mean.
Ooh, right. You don't want to hear from me. There you go. Yeah,
Well, yeah, true.
yeah. Because I did just the opposite, and we're not gonna say names. But I was speaking to the clerk and I had to hang up with the clerk and call the postmaster because of the clerk. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's when that postmaster phone number comes in handy. Yeah. Get your bitches in
Yeah,
check.
it's some, yeah, yeah,
Eh,
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with the post office. I mean, m- my political views, I should be for privatization. I don't believe privatization of the post office is gonna be good to anybody, not the workers, not consumers, nothing. Because once we privatize, it will destroy what the post office is.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you privatize, all you're going to do is try to see where you can make a buck.
Yeah, definitely. And where the rich get richer.
Yeah, that's all it is.
and the worker
Because it's
bees.
gonna be investors that are not one sole person can buy the post office. Well,
Yeah.
let me step back and not say that.
Mm,
It would probably be a board of investors that would come in and buy the post office.
yeah. All together.
But
Mm,
then you go into the part of how much money are they going to want to make a year versus how much money are they willing to lose a year, like the post office does.
good years and bad years. Yeah.
Yeah,
True. True. But that's yeah. That's all companies though.
I mean,
So I think it's a good investment if it did go that way. Um, but then it's the changes that come. The changes that would come are from people that don't do it.
yeah.
So that's where they'll be kicking themselves in the shins. Is they'll try to make changes that are unrealistic.
I remember a couple years back. I don't know if you were in the postal system yet. I remember there was a couple years back that they were having. They were just hiring Joe, any Joe Blow off the street to be a supervisor,
Oh
and you're
wow.
like, how is that going to work? You know,
Mm,
how are you
yeah.
going to hire somebody that doesn't know, has no clue on how the post office works, or how mail works, or how packages work,
Mm,
other than ordering something off of Amazon?
mm.
How are they going to know what they're going to tell the carriers or the clerks or the customer?
Yeah, I was around. I was a carrier, and they actually promoted a clerk to a supervisor. And that clerk was totally clueless on how the routes went and what
Hmm.
the carrier's job entailed until she actually had to go out there and do it. And every single time she'd hate it.
Well, you know what? I believe if you want to be a supervisor, you have to sit in both sides of the table. And not to talk down about mail handlers or maintenance or nothing like that. It's to do your job in an office as a supervisor or a manager or a postmaster. I believe I believe you have to have both sides of it. You have to have that retail side on the clerk side,
Mm,
and that back end clerk, and you have to have some kind of carrying experience,
mm,
because you can get a supervisor come off. You can get a supervisor that used to be a carrier, and they're going to fully understand what they need to do to get those carriers to get their job done.
yeah, the momentum going.
But he has no idea what happens up front.
Hmm.
He has no idea about distribution side of it, you
Hmm.
know? Because honestly, when I was a carrier, I didn't had no idea what a clerk entailed until I became a clerk, and I'm like, man, what did I do?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Um,
Now we know why they're
but
so
then,
pissed off.
yeah, but then that brings up all my bad. But then you get supervisors that only know clerk stuff, and they're super clueless on what the expectations are for a carrier, on bringing them back, on getting them back safely, on where you at, blah blah blah. How long is it going to take you for this unit, or how long is it going to take you to do this? I honestly believe you just can't hire somebody off the street to do this job
I go
in a
with
supervisor position.
to sum it up, just means that we both should be supervisors. I
Fuck no.
wouldn't do it. I'm not saying I would, but we've been
I
in
mean,
both. I've not been a city carrier. Well, y'all are
yeah,
spoiled,
we've sat
so
in both sides, and yeah, I think we would be good supervisors, just dependent on your knowledge and skills of both sides. And even that, it's a beast between city carrying and rural carrying. There
right,
is a
totally
beast between
different.
it.
Yeah, buddy.
Um, as for me, I'd be a pretty decent supervisor because of my knowledge of the clerk side, my knowledge of city carrying side, and my knowledge of rural carrying. Now that I've been working with rural carriers this whole time
Mm,
for the last almost 2 years that I've been working at this post office. Um, but honestly, I would have flipped wig if I would have became a 204B and straight out of carrying mail, and that's probably why a lot of people don't make it,
Yeah.
because the roughness of it and the expectations from
The
the very
higher ups.
top.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
them expectations are you, man, you
Unrealistic.
should see, you see all the stuff I go through, and I'm not even a supervisor.
Yeah.
I just help as much as I can to make our post office super sufficient. Dang, I forgot to mute my phone. My bad, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Phone calls, man. Got to make that money somehow. And back to the regularly programmed
All right.
show. Um, and I can see you could actually become a supervisor because of the
Yeah.
knowledge you have.
I wouldn't.
Well, because of the knowledge that you have, yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, I'd probably give you a little bit longer time working up front,
oh yeah, actually be
you
properly
know,
trained.
that way, you have good customer skills. I've seen it happen. So you could be a good supervisor if at one point you decided to go that route.
I gotta change the subject a smidge. Just because you
What?
said have good
What?
customer service skills. So
Ooh,
I
who
was
drew
in
customer
South
service this weekend?
I was in South Padre, right? And there's a concert. And me, I didn't really care, but one of the people I was with, they asked this kid, "Hey, can you move over or whatnot?" And of course, these kids, they're so disrespectful, right? And I see him, he's getting mad. I'm like, all right. I walk my ass around the gate, go to this kid in his face, and I was like, listen, everybody wants to see this concert. If you move up just a little right there to the pole, you still see. You probably have a better view, right? That's all he's asking you to do. I was like, there's no reason to be disrespectful. All of that, whatever. Eventually, after a little bit more talking, dude does move or not, and I give him that. And that was the easy part. The harder part, remind you, I'm drunk and it's South Padre or whatever. His dad comes up. He is actually like 14, but dude was like 6'4" or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like he was like older teenager or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. His dad comes and gets in the face of somebody who didn't even have nothing to do with it. I was like, whoa, hold up. So I flashback, yo, getting dad's face like, yo, there is no beef. I asked him to do something. I fixed it already. There's no reason for you to come over here talking shit. And everybody's like, oh, Casey, you're going to fight. Da, 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 da. No, that's those great customer service skills. Because, yes, if it comes to fighting, absolutely. That's
Right.
anywhere in customer service, actually. But, two, words matter. You just got to know how to use them. And then we were cool, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So, what race was he?
Oh, they were white. They were white.
Oh,
That's
so
a
you
white
fit
boy.
right in.
No, if they looked at the crowd I was with,
Mm.
no, I was with a bunch of black people. So
Bunch of
yeah,
hooligans.
a bunch of no sophisticated.
Oh, sophisticates.
Yes,
Oh, we're
yeah,
going the other side of it,
but
right?
all black people are prejudged and
Definitely.
whatnot. So
I judge you every day. I see you, and I'm like,
yeah,
wait a minute, never mind. I already judged her once, twice,
yeah,
three times.
yeah.
How long we been working together?
It's
Fucking
like
365 days already.
right.
And I'm like,
It,
I've already judged her 365 days.
mm,
Maybe I should let it go. Nah, she's
nah.
still
She's still
black.
black, right?
She is still black.
I own it, right? So yeah, it was pretty good. Eh,
But yeah, so with going with that, that's where it brings you to the side where we started this podcast, is because of the fact that the way people view us every day, and they judge us no matter what, not even knowing who you are,
mm,
you will get judged and you will be put in a section because they don't know who you are.
right, right.
You know, somebody sees you and they, another black girl. And then you talk to them, and you're like, yeah, that's not a typical black girl.
Oh, she a black white girl.
Yeah,
She a white
she,
white black girl.
she a white black girl.
Yeah, yeah,
She must have sat in the tanner way too long.
yeah, yeah.
But it is.
It is definitely like that. It's been like that my whole life, but I don't think I've ever really, really been just called like black. Hey, nah, not really. Some of my friends will be surprised at the things that I may view
Mhm.
or listen to. I'm like, oh, you listen to that? Yeah, I mean, I'm still black. Yeah. Give me a
You
little
listen
bit
to
of
different
credit.
music than country?
I shut up. My son called me a Mexican because I'm listening
Because
to country.
I've
Um,
never heard you listen to anything else other than
mm,
country.
yeah, I listened to a whole bunch. I used to, like when I was in high school. I used to listen to rock. That doesn't
Well, that's
that
not.
doesn't justify this case, does it?
Yeah, it
No.
does not help you at all.
But no, old school. I like Motown. I
Well,
don't
yeah,
like
Motown. But I'm talking. But
I don't like gangster rap, but I do like rap. Like just like I don't like heavy metal. I don't, they go too far. That's out of my spectrum.
but you did
Um,
listen to Dre and Snoop.
that's not gangster rap.
Oh,
That's just old school. That's rap. That's
oh, okay.
that's where rap began
I thought
right
that was
there.
gangster rap.
No, no,
Man,
I can't
I
even
need to shut
call.
up.
I ain't.
I
I
need to
mean,
start talking
some
about that Mexican music.
songs. If you go with like NWA or whatever, then
But
yeah,
wasn't that considered gangster rap when it
that
started?
is yes. Now that I didn't say I listened to him there. See difference. Snoop.
But he was
He
in that
let's go.
era.
He was gangster like, but his music was just rap. Is how I feel. Like if I ever met Snoop, I'd feel that aura of fucking don't cross him once, he'll fuck you up. But his music, everybody loved that. It was man, you should hear the shit my son listens to. That you'll feel the difference. It's like
I'm so ashamed of you.
ashamed. Why?
Because you're black.
Eh, I'm brown
Yeah,
actually.
I'm brown actually.
Yeah. Right. It's that cigarette break.
Yeah, let's go ahead and cut it off there.
A good one actually.